was up, it was down, it was here, it was there, it was everywhere. 16th ranked Syracuse football's battle with 5th ranked Clemson this past weekend was a roller coaster. Welcome to NCC Sports. I'm John Eads. But also perhaps maybe the athlete evolution. Players are getting faster and stronger. So I took it upon myself to pinpoint. So I asked Coach Boeheim, why can't you guys close out these close games against good teams? The loss to Miami 8 days ago by 4 points. The same thing happened again here tonight. He did not like that. Then in the first half, Brown got off the bench, entered the floor, and proceeded to play 32 minutes in that game. He made a lot of dashes to the rack, and I can't dunk, but Malik Brown certainly can. What college did Jordan Mailata just say? It's not one I've heard of, probably not one you've heard of as well, and that's because it's not a college at all. Jordan Mailata never attended college. From the New York Mets to the Syracuse Mets, Dick Scott and company put on a defensive clinic in their home opener this afternoon. All right, let's make it a little bit harder then. Who won the Super Bowl before that? I'll give you a hint, it involved the Patriots as well.
Patriots, Giants, the Tyree catch, perfect season game.
And the MVP of that Super Bowl?
Eli.
Clemson men's basketball has experienced success in the past, especially in the ACC, but where has that success been since the 90s? What was found here today in Little John Coliseum because Clemson accomplished something today it has never done. He's so good you might think he was a first-round pick at one point. He was not. This card was never read. This podium, he never walked to, but eventually he was picked up by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 7th round back in 2018. How about 5 homers over the past 2 days and 14 runs between wins over the Giants and Phillies? As a Detroit Tigers fan, I have to say, very jealous. I'd be happy with just one singular long bomb. So Davis thinks it's all about speed, but some of his other NFL compadres think that power is still very important in today's day and age of professional football. Hi everybody, John Eads back with you here at the NFL Fan Experience, and I guess I'm a chief for the day. Now there's been 2 prior Super Bowls here in State Farm Stadium. Super Bowl 42, won by the NFC Giants, and Super Bowl 49, won by the AFC Patriots. So one for each side. Who will make the tiebreaker? We'll find out on Sunday. That's right, he started playing safety in high school. Then his coach, Ted Ginn Sr., told him to put his hand in the dirt and start playing defensive end. Well, it's pretty quiet and lifeless here at Acrisure Stadium. All you might be able to hear are a couple of leaf blowers, and that's a microcosm of what Syracuse's offense did today in a 19-9 loss to Pittsburgh on the road. SU appeared in a dozen bowl games from 1985 to the turn of the century. Now, things started with a loss in the Cherry Bowl back in '85. Great game, by the way. But from there, the dynamite was lit for Syracuse. All right, maybe the people of downtown Phoenix didn't know as much as maybe I thought they would. We'll say it hasn't been played here very often, so we'll cut them a little bit of slack. And most of them knew at least who was playing in the game. We had a crazy stretch here today, Ashley, where we went back to back to back to back to back with live interviews here. So many cool guests. Big reason why Syracuse is off to a perfect 5-0 start for the first time since 1987. And that year, you could take one of these to the gas station and get a gallon of gas. But throw the records out the window. The Eagles' offensive line was voted the best in the NFL this year by Pro Football Focus. The leader of that unit, a man named Jeff Stoutland. He's got about 40 years of coaching experience to his resume, but he started his career at Syracuse. That's right. He started in 1997 with the Orange, served 3 years under Paul Pasqualoni, and went to a couple of bowl games with SU. From there, Stoutland moved on to the Big Ten, and Michigan State served 6 seasons there with the Spartans and had as many all-conference selections in those years. Then, Stoutland took a trip south from Michigan State to Miami. 3 years in Coral Gables under Randy Shannon, actually replaced Shannon and served as the interim coach for a bowl game back in 2010. From there, Stoutland moves from the ACC to the SEC. A couple of years at Alabama, back-to-back national titles with the Crimson Tide. Now here's where it gets interesting. Stoutland picked up by the Eagles in 2013. Since then, served under 3 different coaching regimes with Philadelphia and was a member of the Super Bowl 52 championship squad. Now, despite all the coaches Stoutland has served under and all the places he's been over the years, he still carries the lessons he learned while coaching with Paul Pasqualoni in the Salt City.
Coach Pasqualoni was my position coach in college, so we rejoined together at Syracuse. Coach George DeLeon taught me every single thing I know about coaching the offensive line. And Dick McPherson, what a great coach, what a great head coach, and how to bring a team together.
Now, those lessons that Coach Stoutland learned while he was at Syracuse aren't the only ones that still stick with him. Back in 2010, he needed open heart surgery just to keep his life. Now, that experience not only shaped his life, but shaped his coaching philosophy, and that continues with him to this day.
When I was younger, I used to worry about getting fired, not being able to put bread on the table for my family. I had 2 young kids. I didn't worry about none of that after that. Never. I said, I'm just going to give it my all. Whatever happens, happens.
So Coach Stoutland used to roam the sidelines inside the dome. Now he's roaming the sidelines in a Super Bowl, still in a dome-like facility, but obviously on quite a bigger stage. On Sunday, he tries to coach his position unit and the Eagles to a Super Bowl championship. Reporting inside State Farm Stadium, I'm John Eads for Newhouse Sports Media.
Jordan Mailata, Jeff Stoutland University.
What college did Jordan Mailata just say? It's not one I've heard of, probably not one you've heard of as well, and that's because it's not a college at all. Jordan Mailata never attended college. Instead, he played rugby his entire life over in Australia, then traveled all the way across the globe to the United States and participated in the International Pathway Program and learned this whole game of American football. From there, he was drafted in the NFL Draft, 7th round back in 2018, and since then, he became a student, but not a student in an undergraduate institution here in the United States. Instead, it was Jeff Stoutland University. What exactly is that? I'll let Coach tell you.
I think that to play the offensive line, you want your players to be as close to that environment, that game environment as possible. So I try to create that environment over the course of the week. And then when the game gets there, they're kind of, it's like we've been doing this all week. This is not a big change from a speed standpoint.
And to be picked up and coached by Stout, it's been an incredible journey and one that's been very humbling because Stout will not let you, this head, he will pop that balloon in a heartbeat.
Well, it seems like Mailata certainly earned his degree and maybe even was the valedictorian because Coach Stoutland and the rest of his teammates hold him in extremely high regard.
Joe Douglas called Jordan Mailata my Mona Lisa. He said, that's your Mona Lisa. And it didn't take long to know what he meant by that. But yeah, he's come a long, long way from playing rugby to becoming an elite left tackle in the NFL.
It's definitely crazy, especially between Landon and Jordan. So rest in peace to anybody who tries, because that's a done deal.
So Mailata traveled 8,000 miles from Australia to the United States, learned a new sport, and now he's got a chance to win a Super Bowl with Philadelphia. What's interesting is that the Australian was drafted the year after Philadelphia won its last Super Bowl, Super Bowl 52 back in 2018. Now the Eagles have a chance to win Super Bowl 57 if they can beat the Chiefs this Sunday. Reporting in downtown Phoenix, I'm John Eads, Newhouse Sports Media.